So everybody hit the like button. Give yourself a second to hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Today, we're about to talk about something very, very important. And this is going to be about single motherhood. And one, why do I keep talking about single motherhood? Because a lot of you may say, why do you always talk about single mothers? Every time I turn around, you talk about single mothers. Single mother this, single mother that, right? Well, one of the reasons why I talk about single motherhood so much is simply because single motherhood is the number one thing that is affecting Black people to this day. It's not slavery. It's not white people. It's not all this other stuff. It's not our schools. It's our mothers. So I want y'all to think about that. It's not our schools that is hurting our people, you know, bad schools and the school system. No, it's our mothers. I was looking at somebody on Instagram where he was just going crazy, like, these schools and our schools are this and da-da-da-da. I'm like, yo, bro, it ain't the schools. Because there's a better school on the other side of town. There's a better school over here on the other side of town over here. On the west side, on the north side. The schools are only bad in this particular area. So is it the school or is it the resident? I'll say that again. Is it the school that's the problem that's hurting these kids? Or is it the resident in the school district that is hurting our kids? Because regardless of where you are, no matter what part of the world you're in, there's a good part of the city, good part of the town, good part of the state, and there's a bad part of the city, state, or province. Am I right? So regardless of where you go, there's a good part of the city and there's a bad part of the city. And who chooses where the child lives and goes to school at and goes outside to play at? The mother. Who chooses the child's father before the child is born? The mother. So altogether, when we just sit back and just look at what is the specific thing that is affecting Black people the most, well, the answer would easily show you that is our mothers. So today we're going to talk about proof that single mothers create multiple problems in their kids' lives. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I got some videos. I got a whole bunch of stuff to show y'all, but I need y'all to hit the like button before I get started. So until y'all get these likes up, we're going to roll, but I ain't going to play these videos until y'all get these likes up. So get the likes up. We'll get to it. True, it's the parents. They have to be held responsible. And that's all I'm saying. And also support the channel. We need at least 10, say it again, 10 contributors to the channel, which is via Super Chat or either Cash App, which is right here. Cash App, Aaron 1000, AARON 1000. So the reason why I talk about single motherhood so much is because that is the number one thing that is hurting our people. Not all this other stuff. Not the food, not the schools, not other races, not the temperature, not global warming, not animals, single mothers. So prove that every single mother is problematic to their children. You know how y'all love this. Not all women. Well, we're going to talk about all women today. All right. Everybody drop all women in the chat. Piss off some people. Everybody drop all women in the chat. Put all women in the chat. So we about to talk about all women today. I'm sick of y'all. Not all women. All single mothers. We talking about all single mothers. And just for the record, my way of looking at single motherhood is single unwed women. Okay? Give y'all a definition. Single unwed mothers. If you've had a child and you've never gotten married, single unwed or never wed mothers. Not women who are widows, because y'all love to sit around and say, what if the husband died? Shut up. Your husband didn't die. You ain't got no damn husband. Shut up. So we're talking about single women who have never been married and have poogie babies. What's up, Bruiser? Okay. So we're going to talk about the poogie baby makers today. So look, here's the bottom line here. God created women to be a man's helpmeet. God created a woman to be a man's helpmeet. But for some dumb reason, y'all are somehow head of households. I think 80% or 86% of single mothers or 86% of Black households are ran by women. A little over 80% of Black households are ran by women. Y'all aren't supposed to run households. Do y'all know that? Or does anybody know that? Does anybody know that women were not created to run households? You're not supposed to run a household. That's not why you were created. You were created to be a man's helpmeet. You are created to help your prospective husband meet his goals in life. And I'm not going to say in exchange, but in the process of him meeting his goals, you both get married and build a family together. And once he makes it to his goals, and he's already working to his goals before he meets you, because you don't meet a man and then start pushing him because now you're his mommy. But your job as a woman is to help a man that is already working towards a goal to reach his goal. And in the process, you both build a family and have kids and get married. But guess what? Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to skip steps. But like I said, for some dumb reason, all these damn women are heads of households, and it's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. So I want y'all to write this down, because we're going to get to this probably in another 30 minutes, but I want y'all to write this down. Write this down, y'all. What is your ACEs score? What is your ACEs score? ACES. What is your ACEs score? Does anybody know what an ACEs score is? Just a question. I want to see where y'all are at. Do you know what an ACEs score is? What is an ACEs score? Anybody? Yes, skip some damn steps. Women love skipping steps. So I want to ask y'all what your ACEs score is real quick, because I just want to see where y'all are at. Because if I got to go in depth, I'll do that. But I just want to see if y'all know. Does anybody know what an ACEs score is? If not, I'll answer. I'm just trying to see if y'all know. Okay. Apparently y'all don't know. It's okay. I want to ask you all, ladies and gentlemen, what is your ACEs score? ACES. your ACEs score is adverse childhood experience score. Your adverse childhood experience score. That's what your ACEs score is. So why am I bringing this up? And why am I asking you what your score is? Because due to your upbringing, what you've been through, you have an ACEs score. Your childhood trauma, your mom, your dad, who did this, who did that, whether it's divorce or whatever. Your ACEs score is your adverse childhood, keyword childhood, because y'all love to sit around and argue with me and say, well, Aaron, not everything came from your childhood. Everything you are came from your childhood experiences. All right. So I'm going to get into this later on, but I just wanted to put in your mind if anybody would like to Google it for themselves. We're going to talk about this later, but everybody hit the like button. But I want y'all to just take a second and think about what is your ACEs score? And then we're going to go down the rabbit hole about that. All right. So ACEs score is adverse childhood experiences score. So we're going to table that. And then we're going to get to that in a minute, because I'm going to go really deep in that. But I got a lot more to talk about before we get to that. Okay. So everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. I want to play a little bit of this video, and then we're going to come back.
You sit in his as his mother. You sit in his face and tell him you don't respect him as a man. You just sat here and told your son that I don't respect him as a man.
So let's break this down for a second. She tells her son that has moved on, has 3 kids, is married, and she turns around and says he's not man enough, or he's not a good man. Why do you think she said that? Most likely it's simply because he left his mother. I'll say it again. He left his mother. See, a stable household, where there's a mother and a father, and I know most of y'all have never seen a household with a mother and a father in it, but there's this thing called marriage. So y'all probably never heard of that, but we can keep going. Parents teach and train and raise their children to leave their parents, to go on with their lives, to start their own family. But in most cases, when there's a single mother there and there is no man, there is no father, the only thing she does is train her child to stay with their mother. And when that child actually goes off and leaves their mother, the mother actually feels betrayed. So most likely this part is important. Let me back up. Mother. And when that child actually, but in most cases, when there's a single mother there and there is no man, there is no father, the only thing she does is train her child to stay with their mother. And when that child actually goes off and leaves their mother, the mother actually feels betrayed. So most likely this is what's going on in this situation. He's left the nest, went and got married, has 3 boys, is a good father. What's the problem? Problem is he's not with his mother anymore. And I said that on purpose. He's not with his mother anymore. And this is a problem with a lot of single mothers. They raise their children in order for them to, at some point, grow up and take care of their mothers. But when a typical man grows up and goes out and starts his own family, now there's no reason or no room, keyword, no room for women who aren't in the immediate family to be there. So you got your wife and kids and cousins, sisters, mom, whoever, you on your own after the son leaves, after the son grows up. So with a lot of you ladies, you end up getting resentful and feeling like your son, quote unquote, abandoned you, because your son actually grows up and becomes a good man for somebody else. Yeah, son, husband. See, a lot of you single mothers, you don't raise your child to actually leave you and go live on their own. You raise your child in order for them to take care of you when you get old. And then you end up getting mad at a man for overall abandoning you. But that man is somebody else's man. Your son is somebody else's man. What's up, Shira? Your son is somebody else's man. He is not your man. And this is when problems start to happen. And this is what's going on in this Iyanla video. Iyanla is simply telling this woman that, why are you telling your son that he's a failure of a man and not a good man, and all these different negative connotations of manhood, simply because he isn't your man no more? Everybody hit the like button. 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 Drop super chat or cash app. So shout out to Kelly Mills. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Shout out to Kelly. So, and keep in mind, we're going to talk about the ACEs score later. So all together, when you just look at your life as a woman, the number one thing you have to just keep in mind about your own life is it's your life. And if you have ruined your life and then had a bunch of kids out of wedlock, and you have a hope or a prayer that one of your kids is going to grow up and take care of you, that's not how life works. That is not how life works. I grew up and left my mom's house and went and got me a wife and started a family and had 2 kids. I left my mom. Did I come back and check on my mom and all the other stuff? Sure, of course. But I left my mom. I wasn't around my mom all the time. Did I take care of my mom? No. I looked out for my mom. I checked on my mom, but I didn't take care of my mom because that's her husband's job. But she didn't have a husband. So if you don't have a husband, that's on you. I want y'all to think about that. And I want y'all to let that sink in. I did not take care of my mother when I grew up because that's not my job. My job isn't to take care of my mother. My job is to leave the nest. That is my job. My job is to leave the nest and start a family with somebody else, another woman, not my mom. I'm not starting no family with my mom. I started a family, got married, and had 2 kids and moved to the other side of town and lived my life. And I looked out for my mom, made sure my mom was okay, but I did not take care of my mom because that's not my job. That's not your job as a son. That's not your job as a mother. As a daughter. I am not here to take care of someone that is 20 years older than me. Why can't you take care of yourself if you're 20 years older than me? Think about that. Why is somebody supposed to take care of a person that's been on earth 20 years prior to you? Why do you supposed to take care of a person that has been on this earth 20 years prior to you? Your job as a woman or as a mother, well, we'll say woman, is to find you a husband and y'all take care of each other and y'all go live y'all life. And then you have us. And then we are able to see the dynamic between you and dad. And we like, oh, I want that. I want to live this. Or I don't want that. I want to. Then you go out in the world and then you go live your life. But the problem is the majority of you did not get married. The majority of you have a 7 out of 10 ACEs score, adverse childhood experiences. Your ACEs score is high, which means you have a lot of emotional issues. So you can't keep a man. You can't put yourself in a position where a man will actually want to marry you. But you want a baby. You want a baby. You want a baby. So you skip steps like all y'all seem to want to do. And what happens after that? You're now a single mother. Your whole life gets worse because we're going to talk about how bad your life gets when you have a child. Your whole life gets worse once you have a child because you got a lot of issues. You got more on your plate. And like I said earlier, a woman was created to be a man's helpmate. But when you are, what's the word? When you go against your own nature and you start running your own household and you're a woman and you are nobody's helpmate, you get to the point where you start thinking that you're supposed to just live like this. And then your friends are supposed to live like this because you living like this. And next thing you know, all y'all just run around being single mothers looking stupid. And then the sad part about it is you start looking at single motherhood as revering, as strong. No, it's stupid. What's up, Shana? But when somebody like me comes out and says, hey, single motherhood is dysfunctional and single motherhood is stupid. Oh, you hate women. No, you hate children. See, I am not doing anything to you as a person talking about single mothers. But you are definitely, factually doing something to children. All right, Ace, I got you. So I want you to think about this. The person that, you hate women, you right? I'm dropping this for Ace. Ace, pull up. So I want y'all to think about this for a second. I am not doing anything to y'all by talking about single motherhood. Might make y'all feel bad. You should feel bad. You're a damn single mother. Because what I'm doing is in hopes, inspiring a young woman who has not become a single mother to not be a single mother. Because if they were to listen to you, they would become a single mother because you act like single motherhood is okay. And I say single motherhood is not okay. So when you look at who's actually helping and hurting, you hate women. You hate children to a certain degree. Why? Because I'm ending or helping to end single motherhood. You are keeping it going. You're moving it forward by one, justifying your own behavior, and then two, justifying every other single mother's behavior that you're around. Because you have to justify your own existence, so you got to justify other people's existence. Let me bring my guy up.
Man,
what up?
What's going on here, man?
Yo, man, doing my thing, man.
What's going on, man? What's going on? So, all right. So you said the main reason single mothers are the main reason we here. You
The
agree with
reason why
that?
black people are the way they are. Yes.
Okay, main, but there's other reasons. You're just saying this is the biggest part.
Well, most likely those other reasons wouldn't exist if we weren't raised by a single mother. Like, for example, we talked about, I was talking about the school system, right? These schools aren't teaching kids, right? I said, no, your school ain't teaching kids. Because in every city, most cities, I'm not going to say all cities, but most cities, if you were on the other side of town, your school system would be a lot better. So it's not really the school system, it's about the resident. So if you live over here in a bad neighborhood, well, guess what? You are putting your child in an environment that isn't good for your child. Now, a couple can actually not be able to afford doing it, but at the end of the day, when you're a single mother, you are literally putting your child in a position where they are going to end up with an ACEs score. Do you know what an ACEs score is?
No, please explain this to me, please.
Okay. An ACEs score is Adverse Childhood Experiences, ACEs. All right, we all have an ACEs score, and I was going to get into that a little while ago, but we can get into it now if you want to. But
I want to ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
So question one is, I know you're talking about the main reason. My question is it not shared responsibility? Like if we look at, and I'm gonna just give you context. If you look at the absent father rate, you know what I'm saying, in the black community, it is the highest in the country. It's undisputable. And I believe in order for the statistic to be that high, there has to be multiple different factors. So before we go forward, can we acknowledge that there is shared responsibility between black men and black women on this particular issue? No matter how you want to divide the pie, there is some shared responsibility.
Of course. Yes, of course.
Okay. Now, with that being said, and we acknowledge that, I guess your stance is women are the gatekeeper. So you're saying, okay, all that we can do, what we can do simply to require or to stop this epidemic that's affecting our community is requiring marriage before we bring a child into this world. Correct?
Yes.
Now, everybody in the chat, everybody on Instagram Live, we can all agree that requiring marriage or getting married before you have children is probably a good idea. Correct?
Yes.
Now, can we address, though, if that plan doesn't work and if you get pregnant prior to that, what do you suggest that woman do if the man doesn't want to be in that child's life?
One, I would say get therapy, because the feeling of rejection that comes from your baby daddy, not say, for example, I'm pregnant, and then he's like, it ain't mine. Or I'm pregnant, well, get rid of it. I'm pregnant, or something else, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, a relationship or a situationship is kind of going hunky-dory. Everybody's dancing around like do. We have everybody's happy, and then you get the pregnancy scare, and it's like,
yeah.
And then this man has never rejected you thus far, right? And all of a sudden, he got a look on his face, and some dudes actually think she did something to him by being pregnant, which is dysfunctional. Because now he's thinking, and I've heard many men say this mess, now he's thinking like, hey, if you have this child, you're forcing me to be a father. If you have this child, I have no choice but to do A, B, and C. and they actually feel victimized by their own sperm, which is stupid. But a lot of times, a woman has no idea that this man is thinking or feeling like this until she gets pregnant. And if she goes through with this pregnancy after the dude has some type of adverse reaction to the pregnancy, and she goes through it in it, through it regardless, that man and that woman most likely aren't even friends anymore. Not forget about a relationship. They ain't even friends no more, because she like, wow, really? It ain't mine? You actually think I'm sleeping with somebody else? Wow, that's crazy. You just want me to get rid of it? Wow, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they're having conversations they've never had before.
But I'm speaking more so get therapy. I do understand that, right? Because
due to that type of rejection.
Right, due to that, and I'm saying that. And then too, you know what I'm saying, mental health, especially if you are a single parent, is important, because hell, you're around a child the majority of your or not even your free time, your non-employment time. But I want to say this, and this I'm gonna let you.
And you're alone.
But here's the thing: this is always the breakdown, and I know we always have this.
Well, let me say this real quick. A lot of times, the woman gives birth, and her mama don't even show up to the hospital. So sometimes a woman has to give birth to her first child, and ain't even nobody in there with her to hold her hand. So I just want to say that. Go ahead.
But it's what we're talking about, though. I don't think is new. I don't think the whole idea of women raising children primarily by themselves is a new concept. I don't think it's just a modern thing. There's probably ebbs and flows throughout the history of man where, you know, maybe in the early 1900s marriage was an actual thing and people really depended on it. Family and the nucleus stayed together, but women being abandoned with children is something that has happened. It's a common thing. You can go and read scholars from the Roman Empire and they talk about that. The problem I think we have now is I do think we get into this finger pointing and not really getting into solutions. And so that's why when I was watching you live a little bit, I want to get into some solutions. So the tangible thing you said was therapy, and I think that's a good thing. Okay. The second thing, okay, I'm pregnant. This guy doesn't want the kid, or he's saying he's not going to be involved with the kid. What do I do now?
And she's feeling abandoned for the first time in the relationship. So we have the first time in a few years. Yeah.
We have therapy. We have create a support system. I know one of our shows you talk about sometimes, even if you don't have a father inside the home, making sure that son or that daughter has a healthy masculine presence. That could be whether you get into a healthy relationship with someone else that can step in and be like a stepfather presence, but it can be an uncle, it can be an aunt. I mean, a brother. It can be somebody inside the community. You can join I don't know if they still have the Boys and Girls Club, and find a mentor for that young boy and really lean into a team, because a lot of people think that they have to do it alone. And I guess my advice, and I want to pitch it to you before I leave. Do you think that there is this stigma that just because you are a single parent that you have to do it by yourself? Because a lot of times I think, especially our Black women, and I'm gonna say this with care, but a lot of our Black women, and I don't know the percentage, it could be a very maybe it ain't you, but it's somebody out there that they feel like accepting help makes them weak, so they don't seek it. They don't seek a support system. They don't seek if somebody's able to babysit or willing to. So if you do have that support system, really lean into it, because it takes a village to raise a child. Even if the man, you can find you a village. You know what I'm saying?
And let me say this, Ace. Where do you think that typical mindset came from? Is usually, well, what do you think that mindset came from? You don't ask for help. You can do it on your own.
Well, I know where you're getting at. So I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. I do think it is a response to trauma. You know, we always chastise people for being defensive, but there's a reason why people got their dukes up and they defensive and they skeptical and they're suspicious, and because you've been hurt before. And so there are a large pocket of women who have put their trust in men before and maybe been let down, or chose the wrong man and been led astray. And now they feel like, you know what, because of this trauma I felt, it's probably better that I never be in a position where I have to depend on anyone for my survival or my well-being. And so I'm going to teach my child that. And I even think that men, hold on, but before you get all giddy, even Biggie said in one of his songs, hold on, Biggie said in one of his songs, get my daughter this college grant so she won't need no man. Like even men will say that. Like even man will say, man, I want to put my daughter in a position where she doesn't have to stay in a toxic relationship simply because she's not together financially. And see, that's the difference. And I think that's why we got to be careful with our words. And I'll even speak to the ladies out here. It's important to be careful when you say, you know, hey, I don't want you to ever depend on a man. I think we need to add more adjectives. I don't ever want you to depend on a toxic man, a man that doesn't have your best interest in mind, a man that is abusive or neglectful. And the only reason you there is because you ain't taking care of yourself financially. Because
let me say this.
Go ahead.
Because I agree with you. When Biggie said that, most likely he meant another man until, because I want you to think about this. I am the man. I have kids, right? I have 2 daughters. I don't want my kid to depend on a man, regardless if he's toxic or anything, unless she wants to. So a woman can be with a man that isn't toxic, but it's not working out, but she has to depend on him. And because she depends on him, because she don't have anybody else to depend on, she stays. So I don't want my daughters to depend on a man unless they want to. So that's the context we got to add, because sometimes a woman feels like the best route is to depend on this man, and it's not what it is. She don't want to be with him. He don't want to be with her. He may be toxic. He may not be toxic. When you put your child in the places in multiple part, whether the guy is toxic or not, she has options. So my children have multiple options, whether they want to be with this guy or not be with this guy, because the main person that they depend on until they get married is me. See, you don't have to depend on no man, and to a certain degree, because we all need to depend on each other. But when it comes to that level of dependency, they depend on me until they get married. And one of my daughters are married. And now that my daughter who's married, she depends on him. And guess what? He depends on me.
Yeah.
You see how that works?
No,
because he's a young father. He's a young this. He's young that. He ain't got all the answers. So sometimes me and him talk, and he's like, oh, man, I didn't know that. What should I do? You feel me? So the thing about it is, he depends on me as like even more than my daughter depends on me.
Look,
so
I'm not arguing that point, and I think I don't want to pivot away from the original point. The original point is there are when you ask what's teaching this rhetoric, I do believe that rhetoric is more so spearheaded by
women,
single women. And it's a large portion of single women with negative experiences with men.
Right.
So I do agree with that. Right. Although I empathize for the cause of that. There's a causation, right? So I leave space for, there is a reason why there is a woman that feels like it's better for me to make sure I got my shit in order first before I start looking for a relationship. Because if I don't do it in that right order, I may have to stay in a relationship I don't want to be in simply because I have no life functioning skills. But beside that, though, there are just people that just have a it's a relationship with words, and our words are so important. So I will say, saying to people, hey, I want to raise you so you don't need no man or you don't need no woman, that rhetoric gotta go, because to your point, we need each other. We need to be able to depend on each other. Howsoever, given our roles in society, won't you acknowledge that there is a privilege men have to where we don't necessarily need to say we don't need a person, because it's already assumed that we are independent beings.
For example,
Interdependent beings, you mean?
no. For example, men are expected to be protectors and providers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a man, it's expected that you are not relying on another adult financially to take care of your bills or to take care of yourself, correct?
No, because not to just go away from what you're saying, we need supervisors to hire us. We need
That's not what
somebody
I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in your life, in relationships, your
Mhm.
relationships, friend, whatever. In your
Okay.
life, you are a loser if your mom is still helping you pay your bills as a grown adult male.
I
Correct?
agree. Yeah.
And you are looked at more favorably if you are able to take care of your own bills and the bills of your family, correct? By society on a societal level, correct?
Understandable,
So
but you
right,
got to
so
look
right.
at the origin of the money that is coming to the person to pay the bills.
Now hear me out. So my point is the reason why men don't say I don't need a woman is because, or I don't need a woman, because being a man automatically carries the assumption that you are independent, that you, if I went, like, for example,
No,
no, hear me out. Hear me out.
I depend on you and you depend on me.
I'm talking, brother. Do you understand? Hold on. All right, let me give you a better example so you can't deflect this. If I went to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
I'm flicking it up on the beach and I'm eating and I'm you looking at my Insta story. Do
Mm-hmm.
you automatically think that a woman paid for it?
No.
Do you automatically, like, I wonder who he with that's treating this and sponsoring this?
Mm-hmm.
However, if there's a woman doing the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
See her at dinner and it's maybe another plate there or whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
don't see the dude, but in the back of your mind, you may wonder if she paid for that trip or not,
Right.
correct?
I agree.
Because as a woman, your accomplishments or what you have is always first checked if a man gave it to you. Whereas men, it's assumed that he did it for himself. So there's no need for us to have to specify we don't need a woman and have that same rhetoric. Whereas a woman is saying, hey, listen, I'm saying I got my own, because if I don't say and make it known that I did this by myself, people gonna assume a nigga did it for me. All right, my bad.
What?
Did it for me.
But what would that have to do with anything? Why is it the need for this bravado of I don't need no man in this respect? I went to Dubai on my own. Why does anybody care? Who cares? Because guess what, Ace? It would make more sense and make you look better on the gram or anywhere else that your husband paid for all this. So if a man paid for you to go to Dubai and you were married, that makes you look even better versus an independent dummy running around like I ain't got no man.
Hold on,
You don't have no man. That's a bad thing.
Before we get off topic, what I was simply saying is when we talk about the rhetoric of I don't need a man and independent women, how they raising their daughters to also be independent, we have to acknowledge that me and you are both men, and we live through the lens of seeing things as men and not being judged in a critical way that a woman will be, and our accomplishments not being diminished simply because we are a woman.
Who's
We
judging
don't,
them?
I said society, period, bro. Like, men and women will look at that woman's story in Dubai and assume that she didn't pay for it herself.
But what does that when you look at judgment, it's like, oh, you
So
problematic person. Does
but
a woman seem problematic if a man paid for her to go to Dubai? No.
Hold on, but you're not. I think you're missing.
I'm looking at the context of judgment that'll actually make you feel bad.
Let's stay on the point. The point is, would you acknowledge that there is some privilege that me and you have that a woman may necessarily not have in terms of getting credit for our own accomplishments and people not assuming that a woman took care of us or a woman did it for us? Correct?
I have to disagree because
you just agree to make
bro, who paid? Look, who as a woman, if a man paid for you to go to Dubai, that makes you look better.
That's not the point.
Not worse.
Okay, you're getting off the point. The point I'm making is, follow me here, LetGo. You just agreed that if I was in Dubai, you would assume I paid for it.
Yes.
So you would not automatically discount the fact that I worked hard for what I got and what I do for myself. However, if a woman, you seen a woman on a story, you would assume, or maybe even have a thought that a man paid for it, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
the first thought when it comes to women and their accomplishments and what they're doing for themselves and where they live and what they drive is that a man may have done it for them. So we don't, as men, have to live under that cloud of a man automatically being assumed responsibility for your successes and what you have accomplished. So that's why it makes more sense that more women say, hey, I got my own car. I did this by myself. I don't need no man, because it's a response to this prejudgment that we put on women. And as men, we don't have it. So for us to be extra critical of it without first, and what I was saying was without first acknowledging our privilege when it comes to this situation would be tone deaf. That's why I say let's
So let me say this, Ace, and I want to stay right on your point. I'm not going away from your point. I did a video it was actually about Sansa Ray. She started going crazy and she was like, women have all 8 degrees and black women have all these businesses and and they I literally said, wow, that's crazy. The reason why, if this statistic was real, because sometimes they be lying, hold on. Okay. If this statistic of black women own all these businesses and have all these degrees and have all these jobs or whatever, and this is to your point, I said, well, this may be a fact because the other races are married. The other races have husbands. So they don't have to have 8 degrees and bust their ass and be in college at 38 still taking up extra classes and trying to make $80,000 a year and all this other stuff. It's cool, but if this is true, most likely is because black women don't have husbands, which makes them look dumber or worse.
You know,
and not better, because Ace, having a man pay your bills, take care of you, send you to Dubai with your girlfriends or be with you in Dubai, and he fits the bill, that is the positive, most beautiful side of all of this. So the one thing that women have that we don't have that actually makes them feel better about themselves, better, period, is they have the luxury, Ace, of having a man take care of them. They have the luxury of a man sending them or taking them to Dubai. We don't have that luxury. So it's not judgment when a man does something for a woman. It's actually judgment when a woman does it for herself because she don't want to do it for herself. No woman wants to do all this shit for herself. She wants a man to do it for her, but she ain't got no damn man.
Let go. You know, speaking this about, okay, this is the interesting part. But the rhetoric you just said about other races are not getting degrees as much as black women because they have husbands instead, without also acknowledging the massive wealth gap between white men and black men is preposterous. So
there's a reason why, though.
But it's preposterous. So when
you married,
when you talk to black women about reliance on a black man and trying to compare them on or browbeat them because they don't rely on the black man the same way the white woman relies on the white man, without acknowledging the wealth disparity, whether it's due to systematic racism, redlining, and all these different things, and 400 years of oppression or whatever the case may be, black women in large are not in the position to rely on a black man for life substance without being an active participant and partner. And that is a fact. So the fact that black women are getting degrees and probably in the next 5 years or 10 years will out earn black men, if not already, is an asset to the black community.
It actually makes them look stupid.
No, hold on. First of all, it makes them look stupid to not depend on a man, even if he tried, couldn't successfully pay all the bills by himself.
if you are a single female, and most single black females have children, you look dumb. You look dumber making more money as a single mother. Why the hell you ain't got no damn husband?
What I'm saying is, but won't she still, even if LEGO, answer this question. Even if she had a husband, she would still have to have a job.
A job and not 8 degrees and 5 businesses.
Okay, so you would rather her have a job paying $13 an hour, or the job with her degree paying $24, $25?
The job making $13 an hour, and the reason why is because I don't want her to bust her ass and work as hard as me, because I'm built. Hold on, Ace. I'm built to work hard. Women are not built to work hard. One other thing. Women are not built to work hard. Okay. And due to the fact that women are not built to work hard like men, they are burnt out and they no longer have any bandwidth left to be emotionally available to the little pookie babies that they got at home.
My point is, what I'm saying is, though, what I'm telling you is, you are trying to have black women adopt a soft lifestyle of a white woman, a privileged white woman,
A married woman.
Hold on, a privileged white, hear me out, a privileged white woman dating from a pool of disprivileged black men. You gotta make this make sense to me. LEGO.
What?
Yeah, I know that.
We make the same amount of money, bro. Women
who
make
make the same amount of money?
Black men and black women.
Okay, did you hear me? Did you hear me not just say you are? Did you hear me not just say you are trying to push a privileged white woman lifestyle?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying
I'm saying
to you that it sounds to me. Now you can tell me, you can defend it if you want to. It sounds to me you're trying to encourage black women to live a privileged white woman lifestyle, picking from a group of disprivileged black men.
I didn't say privileged white woman lifestyle. You just added that out of nowhere.
No, you said white women are not going to college because they have a husband. Their husband is taking them to Dubai. Their husband is paying for this. Their husband is paying for that. Black men ain't in that financial position right now, bro.
So let me say this, Ace.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay.
Black men are choosing not to get continuing education. Black men are choosing to drop out of college. Black men are choosing. You said men
don't have to.
Men. You said men are working. They're meant to work hard. And black men are not right now. Currently, the gap between a black woman and a black man is so slim compared to other races in this country, and it's because of the lack thereof. It's a lot of different.
You know, the typical white man only makes about $60,000 a year, while the typical black man makes, I think, $48,000 a year, and the typical black woman makes about 51. She's like, the white man ain't making a whole bunch of money either, bro. We all are somewhat in the $50,000-$60,000 a year range.
Hold on,
all of us.
Before you start saying these statistics, hold on. Whoa. So
go ahead.
Okay.
And just so you know, making $13 an hour, that's about $2,000 a month. And a typical household, if the man pays the mortgage and a car note or whatever, and a woman pays the utilities, $2,000 a month is good enough, suitable enough to pay for groceries and utilities, just for the record. So her little $13 hour job would suffice. She only make $85 an hour because she got 8 degrees and 6 businesses, because she's no longer going to be available for our children.
Man,
hold on, let me say this.
Hold on, hold on. Let me tell you this.
Hold on, let me say this.
No, you just said some.
I just want to shout out.
Hold on. No, I got to address what you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
She's not going to be available for our children when black men are by far the largest percent of absent fathers by demographic in this country. So to ever say a black woman won't be there for the kids, you gotta these are two totally different conversations.
These are two totally different conversations.
No, it's not.
Yes, they are. Men being unavailable to their children and women being unavailable to their children. These are two totally different reasons why. That's one thing. And at the same time, there's no context to why they're unavailable. So if you look at men being absent fathers, not being in their child's lives at all, that's one example. But when it comes to women not being emotionally available to their children, not being able to go to PTA meetings and all this other shit, not being able to help their children with homework, little things like that, because she got to work 60 hours a week like a man, it's almost the same damn trauma.
Why?
Why what? Because she ain't got no husband. Why? She's not built. Okay.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
I'm gonna give y'all super chats in a minute, y'all. Go ahead.
Couple things. You say she ain't got no husband, find a husband, all this different husband stuff.
Husband stuff.
There's a large. You're saying it as if there's an overflow of men wanted marriage.
There actually is an overflow. There actually is.
I'll let you talk.
Okay, go ahead.
There is so many movements against marriage, how it's unfair, business deal for men, and blah blah, all this different stuff. Exercise your options. This whole movement and this whole rhetoric, you can't act like you don't hear that. And the options,
YouTube dudes,
the options there, if you actually listen and pay attention to a lot of the black women that are talking, it's like, hey, there isn't a lot of good options here. So it's not just about being married, it's also being married to a qualified suitor. Ace. And so here's the thing, and that's why I said you acknowledge your male privilege. A lot of us men, especially some of us who, let's just be honest, and I hate using
privilege. To actually live a life where you ain't got to pay rent for the rest of your life. That's female privilege. They got privilege. We got privileges.
Is that black women privilege?
Yes.
So you think
my ex-wife never paid a mortgage ever in her life to this day because she left me. I took her from our mama. She left me and got remarried probably 2 years later. So she didn't pay a mortgage when she was single. My ex-wife has lived in a house almost her entire adult life and never paid a mortgage payment. Why? Because she had the privilege of men.
Because I know the delusion is real here, because you think because you are in a privileged position and I'm a privileged position.
And they are at privileged positions also.
Hold on. And for whatever reason, you think we represent the common majority of black men, which we do not. Do you know? And I'm about to read this. This is from federalreserve.gov. This is an actual government website in the United States. The average black and Hispanic or Latino households earn about half as much as the average white household and own only about 15 to 20% as much net worth. This is a massive gap.
What does this have to do with single motherhood altogether? A woman choosing to live by herself without a man.
Let go.
Versus what?
Let go. See, here's the thing. When I start talking, I land my points pretty fast. So all you gotta do is give me an additional 20 seconds to explain. Okay, I read that say this. When we have these discussions about black women and how they need to choose husbands and have the husbands do for them and how they don't need these degrees and this money and this, that, and other, it is tone deaf because it doesn't take in consideration the actual facts. The actual facts is the average black family will have, matter of fact, not even just the average, the vast majority of black people that choose to date totally within their race will have to have a dual income household. And this is honestly across the board with America, but specifically for black women. Black women are the most loyal to their counterpart than any other demographic in this country. So when you're saying go pick a husband and depend on that husband, and they're picking from a group that's the most disenfranchised in this country, that don't match up. So what it is probably smarter to say is, get your money, boo. Get your job. Focus on you. Do you. But also, and the same is true for men. Yo, get your bread, get together. But also,
Because without that foundation, we have to understand a lot of the problems that you are speaking from are poor people problems. It just so happens that disproportionately, Black people make up more poor people. When you talk about single
And
mother,
why? Because we most likely were raised by women. We're raised by women. That's the reason why.
the reason why is disenfranchisement, bro. Systematic oppression,
We were
slavery.
raised by women.
No, brother. This is and this is something I want you to start adding to your rhetoric. I mean, you can choose not to or not, but
Okay.
brother, these problems predate us, dog. These issues were created.
Have you ever heard of the word evolution?
Hold on, purposely in this country for us. So when we start making it seem like the main reason we're in this situation is a Black woman or a single Black woman, without acknowledging how that Black woman how we historically got into this position, to me is tone deaf, and it can turn.
Motherhood is how we got in this position.
What about slavery? What about redlining? What about Jim Crow? What about oppression?
Let's go there.
What about?
Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. Okay. Let's go there.
Mm-hmm.
People were actually married in slavery. That's the first thing. And there's one particular reason why slavery actually lasted for 400 years. Do you know what that actual reason was?
White people.
No. Single motherhood.
Man,
so hold on. Listen.
I mean, my bad. I know I'm on YouTube. What the heck?
Listen, bro. Listen.
Don't let me.
You gonna let me finish?
You start bad. You start
bad.
Dog.
Okay, listen. The Willie Lynch letter as an example.
Man, we ain't going to
no. Let me finish.
No, we're not going to know Willie Lynch.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Nah, not when we talk.
The key, bro. You brought it up, slavery. So we gonna go there. Okay, we can go there. Let me just say what I gotta say, Ace.
Respectfully, bro.
Let me just say what I gotta say, Ace. There's a specific ideology on how to keep a slave a slave. All right. And it's somewhat the same thing that's going on now. You let the horse, the mare, come and impregnate the female horse, and then you let the male horse go on by their business, just like with men now, right? Now you got the Black woman by herself left to actually take care of the children, right? So now the owner of the mare, which is a horse, it treats the horse in a certain way. And the female horse or the female, slave teaches their children what to do and what not to do, because there's no male around. Either the male was left, sent away, traded, killed, or whatever, right? So now the only people that are in the household now is the mother and the children. And the mother raises the children to respect the slave owner. You better not say nothing to the slave owner. Why? Because at the end of the day, the mother is in fear of the mother is in fear of the child, the little boy's life. So she's going to literally teach her child to be afraid of the slave owner. And at some point where the boys grow up to be big enough, strong enough, and smart enough to actually revolt and take over this whole place, because most likely the slave owner ain't no but an old dude and his wife and a dog, and it'd be like 13 slaves. Guess what? The mother tells the children, the grown children, you better not do that. I'm gonna tell on y'all if you do this. You know why? Because I don't want nothing to happen to any of you. And because the bottom line is, we all know war, people get killed. So when we as slaves back then decided to revolt or wanted to go to war, somebody was going to lose their life, whether it's them or us. At the end of the day, mom did not want this to happen. So she kept the young boys slaves.
Bruh, I'm going to be honest with you, dog. And, sometimes I don't think that you could shock me any more than you have.
And I got excerpts of the Willie Lynch letter. I could pull it up right now.
treat the
in
Willie
audio.
I'm not gonna treat this quote unquote Willie Lynch unproven historical document or host, whatever that is. It's not a historical document, dog. So we're not gonna treat that like that's canon, bro. But what
Okay.
you really just did, what
Okay.
you really just did, and I don't know, and maybe when you watch this back, you're gonna see exactly what you just did as a black man. When we talked about who's responsible for slavery, I said white men, white people.
I didn't say. I said the reason why we stayed slaves for so long.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
I didn't say responsible for slavery.
Whatever. The reason why we stayed slaves so long,
Mm-hmm.
white people,
Mm-hmm.
white people's oppression, persecution, genocide
Mm-hmm.
against black people,
Mm-hmm.
beating, maiming,
Mm-hmm.
preventing black people from reading and being treated like human beings.
I agree.
It's the reason why we remain slaves for as long as we did. And what you just tried to do, and that's why I want you to rewatch what you just tried
I
to
know
do.
exactly what I said.
Hold on. You tried to say that no, that is not why we stayed slaves as long as we did. It is because black single mothers. Brother, did you hear what you just said?
Yes.
And I want you to say, I want you to understand why people, no matter of fact, I'm not gonna say why. Why?
Hey,
I'm not
let me
gonna
just
hold
say
on.
this.
Now I gotta finish.
Okay.
I gotta finish this point because this is important.
Okay.
I want you to walk yourself further in this hole you're trying to walk yourself into. I want you to understand this point, bro. I get your passion for preventing single motherhood, bro. But certain statements like you just made, man, even the credibility you trying to build up, man, I think it just knocks the block over, bro. Because
Well, let me explain for something. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
You
The
explained
bottom,
3 minutes,
listen. The bottom line is our women have been weaponized by white people, which means white people did it. Okay, white people did it. We have been weaponized against each other for hundreds of years in different ways. For example, rap. It's so many different ways that we have weaponized ourselves against the other, whether it's male versus female, older versus younger. We weaponize ourselves against each other. The bottom line is we are weaponized against each other. So what I said is a fact. Now, is it the number one reason? No, it's not.
brother. What I'm
because
saying,
they actually put us in position where we end up being against each other. So they are the ones that put us in position to be against each other.
yo, what I'm saying to you is this. That's why I said you gotta watch. I think I can understand with more clarification what you are trying to get at.
It was a weaponization. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that's not how you verbalized it. There was a specific question that was asked. Why did black people, you was like, let's go there. Why did black people stay slaves as long as they did?
As long as they did.
You didn't, and I said white people. You said no. You said single mothers because they were used to Willie Lynch. And here's the thing. You now take that responsibility or that accountability away from white people who treated us subhuman and like property, and you placed it on a black woman.
I want you to think about this. Ace.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I want you to understand the gravity of what just happened. And I want you to sit in that. You know what I'm saying? I want you to sit at that. You got to understand, bro. You're not talking about when you talk about 400 years, bro. You're not even talking. You talking about the vast majority of people that were slaves in this country were born in this country that didn't know anything differently than slavery. Didn't have books, have access to knowing what freedom was. They were born into a world where they accepted that they were like cattle. They were dogs. That killing them as a result of them doing something wrong or doing this, or just because the master felt like doing it, was justified and right. And and religion was even used to keep black people in their place.
That's another part. So but do you see that there were certain parts though?
Finish. I guess. And I want you to understand is to what you were trying to say in the latter part after you cleaned it up a little bit, is why I feel like even now it's ludicrous to solely place blame on one part or this woman. This is the main reason. This is because we are still dealing with the residual effects of that oppression and that persecution and that genocide that we faced. And
hence the reason why I'm here.
so when you say single mothers are your caption on Instagram is the main reason, you are neglecting that fact.
There's a reason why, though. There's a reason why. Look, bro, we cannot sit around. I believe in my house, somebody else's house. We cannot sit around as a community, Black community, talking about what somebody in another community is doing to us. We got to figure out how to get out. See, we can sit around and blame people all we want to. It's not going to help us do anything. But focusing on one particular thing, which I do, which is ending single motherhood, will, not may, will change the dynamic of Black people. Period.
You know the
So I'm about solutions. Talking about white people, yeah, white people did with it. That does not help us change anything. What can we change? What we can change is getting married before we have children. So the specific reason why, one, why I'm here, why I'm so vigilant at this, and why I said what I said is because we can't do shit about the other part. Well, yeah, white people did this. Okay, now what we're gonna do? Absolutely nothing. What can we do that can actually change our dynamic, though, in single motherhood?
Yo, we're not going to act like your caption doesn't say the main reason why. Like you put it mainly on the shoulders of Black women as to why Black people are in the state in which they are at right now. And in my opinion, that is factually wrong and is insensitive to what Black people have endured in this country. That is what I'm saying. And even
how Ace,
it is not the main reason.
Okay.
When you just out of your mouth, just after you cleaned it up, talked about how the system, that's why it's called systematic oppression. The system was in place for 400 years. And then even after that, for another 100 and some change in 50 years, there were still systems, even after slavery was abolished, to keep us in this state. Black people have only really been, quote unquote, free in this country for a generation or two. Maybe you say 3. And you're going to make it our fault mainly as to why we are here.
The answer is no. Hold on.
We don't know banks.
Hey, I gotta say something.
We don't ain't no infrastructure, no law enforcement, no nothing, no military, nothing. Nothing.
Hey,
hold on. Because this is let go, make me mad. And I rarely get mad.
Okay.
And you gonna say it's our fault, like we control anything. We don't control nothing. So my point is not to say, and just to answer your question, it is not me sitting here and saying that just because there are factors that we can't mobilize and improve. I do agree with that, bro. I do agree that you can't sit here and be immobilized and pity yourself so much that you don't make efforts. And we haven't as Black people. Listen, if we did that, we wouldn't be in the position we are now. We're free not just because white people freed us, it's because we did something about it. We mobilized. We got the right to vote because we mobilized. So, yeah. But in that mobilization, bro, if you want to be a leader in that, people got to want to follow you. And they will follow you if compassion and empathy is not part of.
Hold on, I think he got a call. Hopefully he'll be back. Hey, yeah, you good. Keep going.
I said, and people will not want to follow you if empathy and compassion is not part of that message. And that's all I'm saying. Just add a little bit of empathy and a little bit of passion and a little bit of context. And I think you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. And let go. I promise you, I really got to go. This was a good conversation, so I stayed on it as long as I get.
Real quick before you go, because I know you got to go. That is the reason why I brought up ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. When you get a second, look it up. Because you got to remember, when you first got on there, I was like, you want to talk about that? And you wanted to talk about slavery. So I was not talking about slavery. I was talking about right now. And due to all the options that we have out in this world, we can get ourselves out our own situation if we start building strong families. Strong families is the number one thing that we need to get us out of this hole. And the reason why we don't have strong families is because of the trend that is single motherhood. Not single mothers or whatever, because at the end of the day, the dudes are the problem, women are the problem. But the bottom line is, as long as we keep having children without fathers, children without intact households, there will be more ACEs scores near 10 with almost every black human walking around here. And now, because of our ACEs score, we can't, guess what? Find a mate for ourselves when we're grown, because we have so many issues due to our childhood trauma. Okay. Remember, I brought up ACEs when you first came on here.
I know.
That is the solution.
But yeah, well,
you brought up slavery. This live stream was not about slavery. You brought up slavery, and I was like, no. I was like, all right, let's go there. I didn't bring up slavery.
But you went there. you did. You could have easily said, hey, listen, this is not a topic I'm versed on, or well, not even versed on.
I'm understanding on, but you said you didn't believe in the Willie Lynch letter, and I believe it was real. So we just have two different beliefs, and that's kind of like how things went.
But you can believe the Lynch letter is real, believe it ain't real. Doesn't change the facts. The facts, my dude, the facts are white people brought us over on slave ships. The facts are millions of people died on that.
Where we are now.
No, so when you decide,
what about now, Ace?
Hold on, but brother, what I'm saying is, if you ignore why we're here and get to the conclusion where you're saying, okay, the reason why that we're here as black people is because of single mothers, and that is what your caption says. That to me is
not from slavery, bro. You brought up slavery.
But what I'm saying is, brother,
I'm just keep that part in mind.
But context, bro. Context, dog.
The way we are now, I'm saying in the last 15, 20 years. I'm not talking about last 200 years.
But what I'm saying to you is, bro, I'm saying without that context, dog, when you read a sentence out of a whole chapter, you can get the wrong message. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about weaponizing, bro, really what you're taking is that paragraph out of one chapter and you using that you're weaponizing, in my opinion, you're weaponizing your message. And when if the whole chapter is read, you know what I'm saying, then I don't think you would get to the point where you would feel like single motherhood is the reason why we're here. If anything, single motherhood.
Hold on. I need to read the title. You said so. You keep saying something about the title.
What's the title?
Proof that single mothers are I actually worded it wrong. Proof that single mothers, I got to change. It says proof that single mothers create multiple problems in their kids' lives.
No, that's not on Instagram. Hold on.
Huh? What?
That's not on. What's the Instagram one?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, don't look it up.
Hold on. Just for the record.
Look it up.
Wait, I can't. I can't look at my. So look. Just for the record. Wait. Listen, Ace. Just for the record, I did it like. What does it say? What is it?
Single motherhood is the main reason why we are so messed up.
I did that out of like trying to do it quick. So I worded it wrong. I'm on live and I was like, oh shit, let me hurry up. So I just put some shit together. So I worded it wrong. So I do apologize for that. So if that's the reason why you came up here, one, I appreciate you being up here. But the second thing is I did word that wrong. Okay. So because if you look at the YouTube, because I'm on YouTube in particular, I just, do that secondarily. It says proof that single mothers create multiple problems in their kids' lives. And I'm talking about ACEs scores. And that's adverse childhood experiences.
All right.
So with all that being said, now I understand why you feel the way you feel. I worded that wrong because I was on live and I was like, shit, let me do, and I was like, single mothers, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't even know what the hell I said. So I'm totally wrong for that.
All right. Well, I gotta go for real.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
All right. All right, y'all. Let me read these super chats. That was a great conversation. Shout out to Patrick Vickers. I enjoy your content. Look forward to future live streams. I appreciate you. So let me check the chat. I'm going down the chat now. Drop your super chats if you want me to read it. I'm reading them now. All right, Carlton Thompson, thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Carlton Thompson says, A score 3 did the opposite of what my dad did and have been married for 30 years. Yes, I love that. My dad mentioned that he was proud of me before he died. Man, that's so beautiful. I love that. He didn't know much. I needed that acknowledgement. Oh my God. Hold on. I got to read that again. Now, we haven't talked about your ACEs score yet. Adverse childhood experiences, right? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But his ACEs, so Carlton Thompson says his ACE score is 3, which is beautifully low, okay? Did the opposite of what my dad did and have been married for 30 years. My dad mentioned that he was proud of me before he died. He didn't know. Oh, maybe he said, he meant I didn't know how much I needed that acknowledgement. Peace. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Because the number one thing we males need is to be affirmed by our fathers. But sadly, most of us don't have fathers. Therefore, we most likely will never be affirmed by our fathers because we don't have one. All right, drop your super chat if you want me to read it. I'm going through the super chat now. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. All right. Sorry, I ain't been through the chat in a minute. Arguing with Ace. Okay. All right. Follow me, says bingo. Thank you for the super chat. Absent judge order. All right. Pure comedy, husband stuff. Husband. Yeah, he said husband stuff. I was like, okay. What's up, Cookie? She'll say husband stuff. Follow me says, thank you for the super chat. Who is he advocating for? Because it's not black men. Still going. I wish MrLetGo would hang up on Ace. No, man, Ace is my guy. But I actually wanted to talk to him about how me and Ace depend on each other. Because that's the thing that nobody wants to talk about. Shout out to Sheik Speaks, married and have a dual income out of necessity. Got you, Sheik. I ain't seeing you in a minute. All right, y'all, I'm almost done. I'm still scrolling. Thank y'all for commenting. Make sure to hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. I just want to catch all y'all's super chats. Follow me says, dude, we are new slaves now. So what is Ace's point? I did not want to go into this slavery stuff, y'all, but I said what I said. So follow me also says, thank you for the $10 super chat. Ace cool with saying white people, but don't deal with the actual mental effects and psychological things it did and continues to do. God helps those who help themselves. Thank you. Follow me. Everybody follow me. That's pretty easy to find. Follow me. Go find him and follow them, or find her or whatever. Because the bottom line is, white man did this, red line and all this. We can't do nothing about that. What can we do in our own communities? And that is one thing in single motherhood. Simple. Life is so simple. All right, hold on. Now we're at about. Damn, we still ain't at the bottom. All right, hold on, y'all. Okay, looks like all the super chats have been read. All right, cool. So let's go back to this video. Let's go back to this video. Where's the video? All right, so here's the video. Let's go back to the video. Shout out to Ace for pulling up. And she has a problem with that because most single mothers.
As his mother, you sit in his face and tell him you don't respect him as a man. You just sat here and told your son that I don't respect him as a man.
So let's break this down for a second. She tells her son that has moved on, has 3 kids, is married, and she turns around and says, he's not man enough, or he's not a good man. Why do you think she said that? Most likely it's simply because he left his mother. I'll say it again. He left his mother. See, a stable household, where there's a mother and a father, where there's a mother and a father, where there's a mother and a father, the parents teach and train and raise their children to leave their parents, to go on with their lives, to start their own family. But in most cases, when there's a single mother there, and there is no man, there is no father, the only thing she does is train her child to stay with their mother. And when that child actually goes off and leaves their mother, the mother actually feels betrayed. So most likely, this is what's going on in this situation. He's left the nest, went and got married, has 3 boys, is a good father. What's the problem? Problem is, he's not with his mother anymore. And she has a problem with that because most single mothers do not train their children to leave them. This is what men do. Men train their children to leave them because that's exactly what parenting is. Teaching your children how to leave the nest, not to stay in the nest or take care of the nest or grow up and be the husband of the nest. No, we make our own nest somewhere else. So this is the problematic behavior of a single mother, especially when she has a son. She essentially raises her son to take care of his mom when he grows up, not to grow up and take care of a family of his own, but to take care of his mother. And when he doesn't do that, he's less of a man. And this is the specific reason why fatherhood is so important. But guess what? None of your kids will ever experience that because you chose to be a single mother, because you chose to not get married before having a child.
And you don't think to consider what that does to his heart, to his soul, to his spirit.
And it's hurtful for the things that he said.
You see what she said, right? I know that's hurtful, but what about me? I raised him. That's what she's saying. He abandoned me. I raised him all of his life. I was the only one there, and he turns around and abandons me for this woman. That's what she's saying.
So there you go. You're doing it. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. I'm holding you accountable, and you're spinning your web. This is why when the boys turn a certain age, the men come and get him and take him away from the mother because she can emotionally manipulate him.
So that is what's actually going on out in our communities. Shout out to Ace. Ace may think I go too hard on single motherhood, but that's cool. But one of the problems is this. I, have been coaching women for the last 5 years. So I'm having these conversations on a normal basis with different women. And the second thing is I have kids of my own. So I see so many different things because I am able to understand the results, keyword, the results of me being in my child's or my children's lives, right? I got married, so I can easily see and understand what the results of the opposite of single motherhood and how it looks, right? And TikTok, I want to have somebody on. So if anybody wants to come on TikTok, I got the speaker put together. I mean, up. So if somebody wants to say something on TikTok, hit the little button and pull up. So if you're on TikTok, if you want to have something to say, pull up. And on YouTube, if anybody wants to pull up, I'll have y'all up in a minute. So I might not bring y'all up immediately, but I'll bring y'all up in a minute. So I have a possibly better understanding of why single motherhood is ruining Black people and how single motherhood is ruining Black people, and how if we were to simply abolish single motherhood altogether and everybody focus on getting married, life would be so much different. Life would be so much different. But that's a different conversation. So I want to break down some things for y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all again, and we're gonna get to it in a minute. What is your ACEs score? What is your ACEs score? And this is another thing. What do you think your child's ACEs score is? So the first question I want to ask y'all is, what is your ACEs score? And ACEs is adverse childhood experiences. And the second question is, what do you think your child's ACEs score is? So let's skip to ACEs real quick. So I'm gonna give you 10 different ACEs. ACEs is adverse childhood experiences. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. 10 adverse childhood experiences. 1, physical abuse. Physical abuse is non-accidental harm. We all know what physical abuse is. It includes injuries like bruises, lesions, fractures. People cause these injuries by hitting, punching, kicking, blah, blah, blah. Right? So the number two is SA. You already know what SA is, right? SA is the second ACEs score. So remember, what is your ACEs score and what is your child's ACEs score? So the first ACEs score is physical abuse. The second ACEs score is SA. The next one is emotional abuse. And part of emotional abuse is belittling, rejecting, ridiculing, blaming, being gaslighted, threatening, isolating, and restricting social interactions. Oh, another one, denying the child of emotional response. In other words, a child starts crying and you tell a child, I'm gonna give you something to cry about, stop crying. So that means you're denying your child of their natural emotional response to something, right? I'll give you something to cry about, so stop crying. And the child is like trying to, I'm gonna do that. And the child is like, I'm trying to stop crying, but I can't stop crying because you're still beating me. So how are you expecting me to stop crying when you're still? So that's denying a child of emotional responses because that's natural. And purposely not talking to the child for extending periods of time. I know somebody who actually, to this day, would give people, what is the word? The silent treatment because their own mother gave them the silent treatment when they got mad when they were a child. The next one is physical neglect. Physical neglect is failing to provide for a child's basic needs. Neglect includes not providing food, clothing, shelter, safety, medical attention. It also includes lack of supervision. The next one is number 5, emotional neglect. Emotional neglect is the failure to meet a child's emotional needs. Emotional neglect includes failing to provide social support or needed mental health treatment. This includes when a child's needs are ignored. An example would be if a baby cried and no one tended to the child. All right, so that's number 5. Number 6, and we're talking about an ACEs score. So what you need to do is write down which one of these things you endured as a child, and on a separate list, write down the things that your child may have endured as a child, or if they're still a child. Mental illness. Living with a relative with a mental illness issue can have an impact on the child. Now, we're not just saying like paranoid schizophrenia. We're saying somebody that was depressed. So if you or your mom was severely depressed and they're just in the corner and just being emotionally unavailable because they're depressed and they're dealing with a mental illness, or their mental illness has them doing other things, and you have an understanding that my mom, my uncle, my dad had a mental illness, that's kind of like what this is. Depending on their disorder, a parent may not take adequate care of the child. They also may fail to model appropriate behaviors for the child, where you end up having certain behaviors due to you having a mental illness or your parent having a mental illness. The next one is incarcerated relative. Incarcerated relative. Children with an incarcerated parent may grow up primarily in a single parent household. Single parent household, y'all. So dealing with a single parent, write this down, is an adverse childhood experience. All right. Having an incarcerated parent is challenging. For the parent who is home with the child also may have trauma feelings of abandonment. The absent parent also may have molded inappropriate behaviors before imprisonment. Number 8, mother treated violently by the father or a boyfriend. Any violence in the home is traumatic. Witnessing violence towards a primary caregiver affects a child. This impact is because the mother typically is the primary caregiver. A child forms an attachment to her that tends to be stronger than with family, stronger versus with other family members. They rely on their mother to take care of them. So seeing her hurt or abused, especially by someone that loves her or potentially loves her, or the child actually loves the other person, is extremely traumatic. Number 9, substance abuse. We all know what substance abuse is: weed, alcohol, or harder drugs. The next one is divorce. So I'm going to do myself real quick, right? So we're just going to go with these 10. I think it's 12, but they wanted to go with 10. So with my ACEs score would be, I had mother treated violently, and I had I would say substance abuse. My mom was a heavy weed smoker, and she smoked cigarettes all the time. But so I can say that. So my ACEs score would be a 2, because there was no SA, there was no physical abuse, there's no emotional abuse, no physical neglect. My mom was super emotionally available to me. So yeah, mother treated violently, and substance abuse from my mother. So my kids, they would say no physical abuse, no SA, because I always talk to my kids and ask them real questions. So no is no SA. no emotional abuse, physical neglect, emotional neglect, no mental illness, no incarcerated relative, no mother treating violently, no substance abuse, no divorce. So my children most likely has an ACEs score of 1 because they dealt with their mom and dad divorcing. So that is how you can get an understanding of what your ACEs score. Because the bottom line is, y'all, my ACEs score is 1 more because one of the ACEs scores on here isn't on here, which is dealing with a single parent. So dealing with a single parent is one of the ACEs scores also. So mine would be 2. Or would divorce be part of the single parent? Okay, divorce can be, they also may, okay, so yeah. So simply being a single mother is giving your child one of the ACEs scores. Simply being a single parent, never married, dad ain't around, gives them a feeling of abandonment. They don't understand who they are because they don't know who their daddy is or their dad ain't around, rejection, and simply growing up in a house with a mother instead of a mother and father. So that could turn around and give a child 4 ACEs scores just by you being a single mother, period. Without even, you could be a great mom. Think about this. You can be a great mom, but simply because you never got married and you had a fatherless baby, your child can have an ACEs score of 4 at least if you're a great parent. So just think about that. So how adverse childhood experiences negatively affect adults. The 10 ACEs can impact your health in adulthood, creating physical and emotional challenges. Sometimes stress can be toxic, resulting in prolonged activation of the body's stress response, which is cortisol. Staying in this fight or flight mode, which is cortisol, can lead to long-term physical and mental health issues. Ashley says she's a 5. So this is all I'm saying, y'all. I take single motherhood or anti-single motherhood very seriously, and I don't give a shit who don't like it. Because I'm not just out here trying to make money. Because really, just like what Ace said, if I let up on single mothers, I'll make more money. I don't want to let up on single mothers because single motherhood, well, I don't want to let up on single motherhood because single motherhood is one of the main reasons why Black people are still screwed up to this day. So from a business standpoint, I'll make more money if I kiss y'all asses a little bit more, pander to y'all a little bit more, didn't say this, didn't say that, didn't make y'all mad a little, made y'all mad a little less. No. I'm sick of y'all being single mothers. And I'm not going to rest until you guys stop doing the shit. Proof that single mothers are responsible. Hold on, let me put this in. Responsible for creating all right, perfect. So yeah, gotta touch my soul. I can go out and be Derek Jackson and walk around with my shirt off, lying to women. I can do that. Y'all want me to do that? Huh? Y'all want me to walk around with my shirt off like Derek Jackson, lying to women all the time? I make hella money that way because I am physically fit. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Me sitting around with my damn shirt off, lying to y'all, ain't gonna help y'all. You feel me? I am here to end the single mother epidemic. And I will help end it, because I'm not going to totally end it, but I will help end it even if it kills me. That's the bottom line. So before we go, hold on, I think I got somebody down here. Master Lee, I need to see your face. All right. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on what you've been saying has been accurate. I just wanted to add, like I was just telling my wife here, I was raised by a single mother. My dad went to prison, and I just wanted to shed some light on what you've been saying, which is really, really good, real spicy, like you said, real edgy. Keep that for sure. But what I was just telling her is I'm the exception, because my mom has been trying to push emotionalism onto me. Yeah. My wife has been able to see that, and she's like, yo, your mom's be tripping when it comes to that. And I'm like, yeah, she been at that since I turned 18. So once I became an adult, I still do deal with immature behaviors from her. But I've recognized what that can be from. And like you've been specifying, it comes from that single mother persona of not having a father figure, or like you said, not having that 300 throw him to the wolves, see if you come back to the village type of vibe. Like, I've made it back, but she's the guider, you know, not the male. And she feels as though she has a place in everything that I do and everything that I say. And I feel a little bit sorry for her for that. And I appreciate what you're doing, because you're shedding a real huge light on that when it comes to single mothers. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
And I just want to say this. It's not just about single mothers. It's the ideology of single motherhood, right? So single mothers aren't terrible people. They're just misguided women that are just running around doing stupid shit, okay?
Right.
We are the guiders of the women. Right,
exactly.
So it's up to us to, like I said, and just like what I said to Ace, he's like, you'll help more people. No, I'll make more money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the bottom line is
more people right now.
Huh?
You're helping a lot more people with what you're saying at this moment.
Right.
I think
that's what I'm saying. Fine. Yeah, because like I said, if I walk around being Derrick Jackson, I will reach more people, but I won't help more people.
Exactly. And what you need to do is you need to help, my brother, and you're doing a very good job. So I commend you on that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you.
Most definitely. Thank you. I don't know how I stumbled across you. You just came up in my algorithm about 20 minutes ago, and I was like, let me see what he's talking about. Oh, he on it. You have to be on it. You're on the front line, brother. You're on the front line. We appreciate your service.
Yeah, man.
Here in the Black community.
And this is what's crazy. I'm here for women, right?
Right.
But the men that are here for women, they're looking at me like, bro, you're too harsh, right? And then the women that I'm here for are saying, you're too harsh. And then the dudes that want me to be there for them are like, you're trash because you're there for the women. You're caping for the women. You're a simp for the women. So I get negative from men and women.
And I do apologize for those people. I take them apologies for them. I take that on the chin for them. Yeah. They don't understand the work that you're putting in right now. Just by the rhetoric that you have heard, like I said, 20 minutes, just from the rhetoric that I've heard you speaking on. Yeah. You headed in the right direction. I can't speak for the mother people. They might need to pull out a pen and a pad right there.
Hey, man. It is what it is. It is what it is.
And I appreciate you, because it's a service. You know, what you're doing is monumental. You see what I'm saying? It's getting to a point where this is considered a taboo. Like, people are scared to talk about these certain topics. And these are the topics that we need to sift through. These are the conversations that we need to be having amongst ourselves in our homes behind closed doors. So for you to be doing it in front of closed doors, greatly appreciated, brother.
And I want to say this, some goofball woman is like, did you create a single mother? And this is the stupid shit that our women just love to just whine about, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll say to the football saying that I created a single mother. No, I created a wife.
Amen.
All right, because
Amen. Say it one more time. I'm sorry, I missed that
one,
last part.
yeah,
You created
I
the who?
created a wife.
Uh-huh.
I
Yep. I
created a
like the
wife
sound of that. We need more of
because
that.
she was my wife, and then we divorced,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now she's remarried, and she's
Right.
able to hold that marriage together
Right.
because she's had practice being married. She knows
Right.
how to be a wife, so she kept her marriage, her second
See,
marriage together because she knows how to be a wife. So I'm
and a
gonna say
lot
this
of
another thing.
uh-huh.
Another thing. My kid is over at her mom's house now, and we were just on the phone because I'm getting her car fixed and her car's at the shop, and we was running around, getting her car straight or whatever. So my kid is over at their mom's house, and either when I get off today or tomorrow, I'm gonna go see about her car, make sure everything's good. So I said, hey, I got a whole bunch of stuff to do. Leave the car over there, and I'll get it tomorrow. And she was like, well, me and mommy will go get it, but do you need to talk to the mechanic? Guess what? I said the mechanic already called me. I already talked to the mechanic. So I want y'all to think about how in the middle of everything I am. She can go get the car because the mechanic done called my phone already. I don't talk to the mechanic already. So my daughter's like, wait, he called you instead of me? I said, yeah, I told him to call me. Because I'm in the middle of everything.
Amen. See, now that right there is what I call being a man.
Mm-hmm.
And what you were speaking on as far as a single motherhood, we gotta be a bit honest when it comes to our lexicon. There's a format that's been embedded in our community, which is called the baby mama.
Yes.
So a lot of people have taken this template and have been reiterating this template amongst other generations. So we have to be very mindful when we say single motherhood, because in a whole nother multiverse, that's just a whole bunch of baby mamas. And we all know, oh, that's my baby daddy, that's my baby daddy. A lot of people don't have that mindset, or like I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins a little earlier, a lot of people have never even seen the example of a wife. So
they
thank you
haven't.
so much for what
And that's what's happening to all of these generations. It's
right.
generations and generations of these goofy ass baby mamas, and baby mamas is baby. They got friends, baby mamas, they cousins, baby mamas, they aunties, baby mamas, they mamas are baby mama. All these goddamn baby mamas run around. How do you expect these baby mamas to not be baby mamas because they mamas was baby mamas?
There you go.
Seems
like you saved yours.
And it's disgusting. It's
yes,
stupid.
It is. You have saved your children, but what you're doing here on this platform is saving others, people's children that ain't putting in the work. So thank you very much for what you've been doing, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you pulling up.
Most definitely. I'm gonna go now, and you have a blessed day.
All right, have a good one.
Likewise.
Shout out to William Smith. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. But yeah, that's the thing, y'all. I actually gotta go because guess what? I have a coaching group to attend to, and I got about an hour to get in this book that we're going over, so I can be there for my coaching group. So for those people who are like, you're this, you're that. Well, I'm about to tend to the ladies in my coaching group because I give back to the community multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day, but I'll say multiple times a week. So I'll talk to y'all later, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Y'all doing what y'all supposed to do? All the people in the chat saying dumb shit. What are y'all doing? Because I want y'all to think about now. Somebody can drop $100 super chat in any minute, but I'm be gone. You know why? Because I got to tend to the community. I can sit on here with y'all and get super chats and make more money and all this other stuff. But guess what? I got to go because I got to tend to the community. I got to tend to the women that are dependent on me. And it don't start till 8 o'clock. So I can stay here for another hour. But guess what? I got to read. I'll say it again. I got to read. I got to read a chapter. So I got to leave y'all in order to read a chapter so I can cultivate and enhance and help the ladies in my coaching group protect themselves or, be better people through these books. So I'm going to leave y'all because I got to go read. So one thing I want to leave y'all with, are y'all going to get off this live stream and go read like I am? And if not, it's cool. But before y'all go yelling at me, you did it, saying all this dumb shit, how often do y'all read? And what are y'all reading? Talk to y'all later.